going on YouTube. I ain't made a video in a while, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about a few things today that could benefit you. If you're a new truck driver or if you're a veteran truck driver, and I'm going to talk about my experiences and what I did to get in the position I'm at today, and maybe share with you a few things that I might have been able to do a little differently. So we'll just start with a little bit of background. I started driving trucks back in around 1997, and they were just box trucks, little 16-foot box trucks, and upwards of 32-foot box trucks. I was moving furniture in Colorado. That's where I come from, and I did that for about 11 years. Then I moved to Oklahoma, and when I started driving a truck, I'm a third-generation truck driver, so I didn't really go to truck driving school or anything like that. I know a lot of drivers go into truck driving school and to get their CDL and start out with these companies that you can get on with little to no experience. The problem I see with doing the truck driving school through these companies are, number one, they're going to start you off at a much lower rate because they lock you into a contract. Some of them are a year, and some of them are 2 years. If you don't stay for your contract, then they're going to charge you back for the truck driving school. So what I would suggest, if you're gonna go to truck driving school, try to just save up and pay for that schooling yourself. Don't go through these companies where they want to. It's nice. I mean, you don't have to come up with the money for the school and all that, but you have to sign a contract with them and stay with them for a certain amount of time. Otherwise, they're going to charge you back for the school. And the problem with that is, since they're doing that for you, they think it's okay to give you such a low rate, like 40 cents a mile. So for the first year or 2 years that you're in that contract, they're basically you're only going to make like maybe $600 a week. Then you're going to be away from home all the time, and it's just not worth it. And I'm going to cut it off right here for a minute because I need to concentrate. This is what I'm looking at right now, so I'll get back with you when it's not raining so heavy. Alright, I'm back. It didn't last too long. It was only for a few miles. Let's see, where was I? Okay. So I moved furniture for 12 years. When I went to get my CDL, the first CDL I got was a Class B air brakes. I believe it's 26,000 pounds or less. And I drove that for the whole time I was moving furniture. And then I moved to Oklahoma from Colorado, and I ended up working in a warehouse for a while, and did a few other things. I was in painting and drywall, and it just wasn't really, those jobs weren't really paying the bills, so I decided to go ahead and go get my Class A. And I didn't do any truck driving school. I just kind of jumped in a truck and started driving. I got my permit. My uncle helped me out. The warehouse I was working at, he helped me out to get my CDL Class A, and the company, their insurance wouldn't cover me because I didn't have enough experience, which is what a lot of new drivers are going to run into. You won't have the experience. Even though I drove a Class B for 12 years, they don't really count that as Class A experience. And some of these companies want over-the-road experience where you're out over the road. They don't count local experience, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I got into oil field, and I went to this other company out of Elk City, Oklahoma, and he started me off at $12 an hour, which that's the thing. When you first start out, if a company's willing to give you a chance, it doesn't matter where you go, you're not going to get top pay. So I worked for them for a couple years, and then I went back to the warehouse that I was working at. In the couple years that I worked for that first start-off company that I was with, they got me up around from $10 an hour up into like I believe it was like 22 an hour, running local oil field out of Oklahoma. So I went back over to the other warehouse, and they paid me a percentage, well, it was percentage, but I got paid for every load that I hauled, which ended up being pretty good money. So once I got my experience in, I decided to go over the road mainly because the oil field died off in Oklahoma, and there just wasn't much going on. I didn't leave Oklahoma just yet. I ran reefer for 3 years for a company called Brahms, and they did like groceries, and then it's also fast food. They do a lot of ice cream and groceries and fast food. That's what they do. I did that for 3 years. It's just really hard work, and I kind of wanted to. It was hurting my body between the furniture and then doing that. It's a young person's job. So then I went to work for J.B. Hunt. That was the first over-the-road company I went to, and I found out that, well, they said we'll pay you 42 cents a mile to start, plus we'll give you a bonus if you get over a certain amount of miles per week. The problem is they wouldn't give me the miles. All they ever wanted to do was give me little 200-mile runs and this and that. So from that point, I basically did like a lot of drivers do, because these companies out here, they don't want to take care of me. So I hopped around. I went from here to there and over there and back over here, trying to find something that I could afford to support my family, because they just don't pay enough. I did find one over-the-road company that did me really well as a driver out of Grand Prairie, Texas, and I stuck with them for about 3 years, and then I decided that it was time to get my own truck, and that's when I came over here to Road Legends in 2018, July 2018, and I signed a 2-year lease on a Freightliner, 2015 Freightliner Cascadia. Since then, I paid that truck off. I ran it for a little bit and then sold it, and now I'm in the 2019 Kenworth over here at Road Legends. I made the right choice with the company that I chose to do the lease purchase with. It was the right choice there. But some of the mistakes that I made was I waited way too long to come on as a owner operator, or at least purchase. I didn't do it until I was 39 years old. So what I'm going to suggest is, first of all, don't just jump into a lease purchase. You need to get out here on the road. You need to learn the business, and especially if you're a young man or a young woman that wants to get into trucking. You need to get out here and do it for a couple years. It's hard at first because a lot of these companies don't want to give you a chance, so you got to go with companies that you're really not going to like. And that's why I suggest that if you're going to truck driving school, pay for it yourself. Don't let the company pay for it for you, because most likely you're going to end up paying for it anyways, because you're not going to like the company and you're not going to want to fulfill the contract. And after that, you're going to end up paying for the school anyways. And so they make you sign a contract saying you're going to stay with them for this long, right? But since they know they got you, they're going to give you such a low pay that you're not going to be able to stay. And you're better off getting your CDL on your own first and then go there, and because then you have more bargaining power when it comes to your starting pay. 40 cents a mile, even as a brand new driver, it's not enough. You need to, as a brand new driver, company driver, I wouldn't take less than 47 cents, and they don't want to pay that, so you have to search around, and it's hard. But you got to get your foot in the door somewhere. Get your CDL yourself, whether if you just do it like I did and study and take the test and find someone who can let you use their truck to take the driving part, or if you need to go to truck driving school, you should pay for it yourself. Don't wait like I did. If you do like it and you do 2 years and you decide, yes, I like this is good for me. So say you get your CDL at 23, or we're just going to use 23 as an example. At 23, you get your Class A. You go to work for a company for 2 years. At 25 years old, if you're going to stay in this business, you're actually better off doing a lease purchase or buying a truck outright. Save money in those 2 years for a down payment if you have good credit. If you don't have good credit, you maybe have to do a lease purchase like I did. But since I've done that, my credit has jumped over 200 points. Not from the lease purchase, because they don't report, but just simply from the extra money that you make when you're trying to become or becoming an owner operator. There's a lot more money in it. But I would say don't just jump straight into a lease purchase as a brand new driver, because they offer that. You can go to a company, go through their school, jump straight into a lease purchase. But what if you don't like this business? What if you can't handle being away from the house 4 weeks or 6 weeks and only get to go home for 3 or 4 days? Because that's what this job is. If you're over the road and you're trying to buy a truck, that's what it is. You're gonna be gone for a month. You might get to go home in that month, but it's just to spend the night, or it's not gonna be for a long time, because these trucks are expensive and you have to work to pay them off, which means you have to stay out and work. One other thing that I'm going to talk about real quick: if you decide to get into a lease purchase, you need to make sure that your bills are low. If you have a bunch of car payments and you're an expensive mortgage and you have credit card debt and all these other issues, it's going to be extremely difficult for you, because the rates fluctuate depending on what time of year it is. It could be really, really good, or it could be not so good. And so if you're going to get into a lease purchase, you need to make sure that you can afford to do it. It is possible, because I finished a lease with this company with having a lot of bills. My bills were in the $2,800 a month range before I had to make my truck payment, my insurance, and IFTA and base plates and fuel and all of these expenses that come with owning your own truck. So you can do it, but you're going to struggle really bad. You're better off coming into a lease purchase with as low of bills as you can. And I'm going to wrap it up right there because I don't like these videos getting too long, and we're already up there. But if you have any questions or about this, what I talked about on this video, go ahead and leave a comment. And if you're interested in, if you have some experience and you're ready to go to a good company for a lease purchase, check out roadlegends.com, or you can go on Facebook and search them, Road Legends, and you can message them there. They'll answer any questions you might have about whatever you want to know about this company. I would definitely suggest this company. Even if you have your own truck, or you can get your own truck, say you decide to, because you have good credit, you can put a down payment on a truck and have a cheaper truck payment, then that's good for you. And I would still suggest this company to anyone, even if you have your own truck. You can bring your own equipment over. Appreciate your time. Sorry, my camera's mounted kind of to the wrong side there. It's not in the middle, but I worked with what I got. So good talking to you guys, and I'll see you next time.